think for me, like, just being like a young black man in the South who grew up in Memphis, Tennessee, and you grow up in the places that all these things happen. Like Emmett Till got killed maybe, I don't know, like 4 miles, not 4 miles, like 4 hours from here. And you know, Martin Luther King died here, and Medgar Evers died maybe 2 hours away. And there's all this history that goes on that is surrounding you at all times, and you're constantly kind of aware of it if you're conscious to it. And I just think it's a reflection of like how I grew up and like the stuff that I learned growing up, you know, seeing Malcolm X pictures on my wall, and like, you know, Martin Luther King pictures on my wall, and you know, wondering who these people are and learning who these people are and knowing what that means for my life, and then just being like a reflection of all of that information over, you know, 19, 20, you know, some odd years or whatever, and just sending itself out, you know, through these different ways of creating. And I don't know, I just look at like black artists and these days, and I look at the previous black artists, black athletes, black entertainers, and I think there was always a level of consciousness or blackness to them. If you look at Muhammad Ali, you know, look at Nina Simone, Harry Belafonte, or somebody like that, they were very much a creative, a black person, and a conscious black person, and very, you know, socially conscious and politically conscious. And I think that's missing in a lot of ways, you know, today. So that's who I learned how to be what I am through, you know.
Man, I'm scared for my mother. Hey, man, I'm scared for my lover. Gotta get some poppin', can't live as nothing. Niggas live their whole life running.
I don't think so, because like I do photography too, but people really haven't seen it yet, but they will probably in the next year and a half. So it may switch completely from the painting to photography. And I think like you look at a person like Van Gogh painted the way he painted for a long time, you know, and that's his style and that's what he's known for. Same thing with Basquiat. Like Basquiat's his same style his whole life, you know, for the most part, you know, the kind of drawing childlike stuff. And I think in the art world, that's how you brand yourself. And I mean, like, you know, from him to Chuck Close to, is it Chuck Close? Yeah, Chuck Close to so many. I think like every single major artist, I mean, they have their style, and it stays pretty much kind of consistent for not necessarily, you know, their whole entire career, for definitely like a few decades. And you know, for me, I've only been painting this way for maybe 2.5 years or something like that. So in the grand scheme of an art career, I haven't been painting like this for long at all. So I look at that and it's just like, it you know, it's nothing to me. Like, I don't think nothing of it. Like, I mean, I have work that's like on panels, I have work that's on raw wood, I have work that's on book pages, I have work that incorporates drawings and book pages and writings and different things like that. I have some paintings that are thicker than others, some that are really smooth and flat. I have digital work, I have the stuff that I do with my music, which is more, you know, technology oriented. I do photography, I do films. So I feel like I do enough to where like it doesn't seem like just one thing. And you know, I think every artist that I know has their like style, and it looks, you know, each painting is different, but it looks a certain way. The only thing I can say that's limiting is maybe using photography, like old photography, which is a source image. But in that, I just feel like, I mean, there's a billion people who do the same thing as far as like using photography as source images. But that's why I'm expanding into taking my own photos and making my own photo series, because I find myself more interested in photography at the moment than actually painting. But commit suicide or like run away or feel like they have enough support. I mean, you know, in different gallery settings that I've been in, I mean, there's work that they're like, we can't show that, we can't show that, can't show that. And I understand that because they're trying to sell work. I think some work is for museums. I mean, museums tend to have some more scary work in it, so you can see like a lynching in a museum or something like that, whereas you can't see a lynching, and somebody's probably not gonna buy a lynching unless they're into that and they're into that creative process, or you know, they're into that style of paintings. But that's why I kind of make both. I make some safe work, and then I make work that's like in the middle, you know, it's still dealing with certain issues. Then I make my work that won't probably ever sell unless somebody's like a collector and they're collecting my work, but it needs to be made, you know. Like lynchings need to be shown, like police beatings need to be shown, even if it's not for financial sake, it's still for art's sake, it's still for history's sake. So I do feel they're necessary, and even if it does scare some people, art should scare people. Like, I ain't in it for like, you know, like being weak and watery. Like, I do want to, like, you know, some of the, you know, historically, some of the most important artists ever fucked people up, like, and scared the shit out of people. Like Duchamp fucked people up because he came in there with that urinal and he put it in the gallery in an environment where that wasn't allowed and that wasn't supposed to happen. But he's one of the most known artists, you know, ever now. You know, same thing with Warhol. He was doing things that were pieces of other things, but he was doing it in a way where it's like, what the fuck? Like, you painting soup cans, dude? Like, no, like, that's not what we do. You know what I'm saying? And people thought it was nothing until a certain point, and then he took off or whatever. So, you know, I think the art world is notorious for somebody being somebody who does something completely out of the pocket and that hasn't really been done before. And I'm not that person. I don't think I'm that person. I don't think it's that deep for me. I think I make work that is racially charged or socially charged, politically charged. So when you're dealing with race, social aspects, political aspects, you're always going to kind of scare some people or make some people uncomfortable. But I feel like people maybe need to be uncomfortable, and they maybe need to think about certain stuff, you know. I think people try to cloud their life with distractions so they can stay away from what's really going on. So they can focus on this TV show and focus on going to the mall and focus on this, instead of really being like, all right, why am I in this situation? Why are these things happening to people that look like me or people that look like this or that? And they try to ignore it, but I don't think ignoring it makes it any better. You know, if you ignore an infection, you may have to cut your leg off. So it's just like, I think a lot of people are ignoring infections in the United States or in the world in general. So.
Sometimes I wanna hide out. All the stress I've been hiding, all the demons I've been fighting, man, I'm scared they gon' find out. I wanna blow my mind out. Yeah, I wanna blow my mind out. I'ma do it out in public, I'ma do it in the light, I'ma do it while it's bright out. Yeah, I wanna blow my mind out. Sometimes I wanna hide out. All the stress